units heading up to the code 3 chase. Suspect was last reported southbound on Highway 99.
Can you give me more info on that call?
Greetings. I'm Brian Tuscan, your host. Welcome to Cop to Corporate. I'm filming from Seattle at the Pikes Market, public market, one of my favorite places to visit. So if you're ever in Seattle and we get through the pandemic, which I'm hoping will be soon, you can visit this wonderful place. And Seattle has some of the best cops, Seattle Police Department, men and women in blue. Shout out to them for all of the great work you do to protect our community. So today I want to talk about resumes and applying for work. I can't tell you how many cold calls or resumes I get out of the blue from people that I don't know that will send a resume and say, hey, I heard of this job. Can you recommend me? And as much as I want to, I don't know you. I don't know your background. I don't know your experience. And it has helped some in the past to do that. But really the appropriate or proper way would be to establish a relationship. Establish a networking relationship, whether it's on LinkedIn or some other social media medium, that you establish a coaching mentor relationship with someone in the industry that you want to emulate or be like or have that type of job. That's the first step. Because if you just shoot out your resume with the hope someone will give you a job, that's a long shot. It could work, but it really doesn't. So another thing you need to think about is when you applied for the police department or the federal agency that you were in, think how long did it take you to get that job? All I know is when I applied for the Honolulu Police Department, from the day I put my application in to the day I went to the academy was right around 9 or 10 months. It was a long process. You have to recall how long it took you to get that job. From interviews, the application process, the physical fitness, psychological tests, polygraphs, I mean, you name it. And when I applied for Redmond Police Department, it took about just as long. And I had to fly 2,777 miles from Honolulu to Redmond twice. One was for the actual interview loop. If you saw my last video where those very nice Redmond officers saw me walking around filming, and I was not even thinking clearly. I'm all dressed in black with my black mask on. You know, it's not smart, but just to let you know, I've been out of the cops for 20 years, so my intuitiveness for being a cop is gone. But anyway, coming back to Redmond, the application process took very long, and they'll do background screening, physically have someone fly over to Hawaii to do a background screening, and I'm sure whoever got that gig loved it. My point being is, it takes a lot to get into the police department. So use that as background for when you try to get into the private sector. It's just as arduous. We all know people that scored the ultimate job where they just put in a resume or they knew someone and they got in. Good for them. For the rest of us, you have to really work hard at it. You got to work as hard as you did when you got into the police department or the federal agency or whatever agency you were at. So you have to do your due diligence. You have to do your homework. And don't just write up a resume and shoot it out. Another thing about resumes is it has to be specific to the job that you are applying for. So think of a job description. If you're going to go for an investigator job, read word for word the job description. Because most big companies, or even small companies, they use a ATS bot reader, which will go through all the keyword indexes on the resume. And it will bring the best match and it will raise it to the top so the recruiter could say, here are the best matches, and they'll hand it off to the hiring manager. Now, for those of you that went on YouTube or online and found out how to game the system, there are some people saying, hey, the way to get your resume through the bots is to cut and paste the entire job description and then put it into very small font into the body of your resume, and then color it white so they can't see it, and then it will pick up and move it to the top. Now, if someone did that to me and I saw their resume and none of the job experience matched the job description, then I would know you're gaming the system and it's pretty much cheating, and it's going to find its way to the shred bin. So you have to work hard at it. Any resume has to match the job description. So what I'm saying, if you apply for 10 jobs, your resume should be specific to those 10 job descriptions. That's the easiest way to do it. And you have to put the time in, and it will be worth it. So until we chat again, I'm Brian Tuscan, Cop to Corporate. Please follow me. Let me know your comments. Any other topics you want to talk about, just let me know. Thank you, and wishing you all the best.